So, Playing Ducks on attack, bringing out an interesting new roster, but not a crazy surprising one. A lot of teams have favored both Hibana and Thermite on this map. Take out all the hatches with Hibana, then also you can get into construction tunnel and you can blow a church wall perhaps with Thermite or something along those lines. Might be telling here to see where the attack is going to focus from Playing Ducks without the Thermite.
Yeah, I'm curious on the choice between Sledge and Buck here because, like we said, Buck is able to open up that kitchen floor a lot more easily, and the Sledge. The only reason that I see him being picked is for the same reasons of Buck. I don't necessarily see, especially on this map, the difference, the need for the difference between the two. But we are going to start out here with the Sledge. The Thatcher obviously is just going to be mainly for that church hall. But let's see how everything's going to go here today.
Yeah, so PENTA beginning their setup, beginning their defenses, everything looks pretty familiar. Penguin creating a crawl hole into blue, barbed wire sitting under the drops. Walls on church are going to get reinforced and locked up, and every trapdoor there. Oh, never mind. We are preemptively blowing the trapdoor in bar, and this is something that we did have teased from a few teams. It's like, okay, the meta even before we saw Hibana, even before, started to push towards and promote aggressive defenders. It's like, all right, we're going to get pressured a lot. If we let them in, we let them down. So let's just not let them. Let's just be very aggressive and just stop them before they get there.
And we've seen this before once. I believe it was, I want to say Season 2 of the Pro League. There was a 3 or 4 defender push, or defender lurk, basically, in the bar, strip club, and stockroom. And it basically just annihilated the attackers because they had rushed in thinking it was all clear. So I think what we're going to see here from PENTA is a very similar kind of hold. We already see Sledge coming down the strip club hallway, and he just opened up that castle wall. But I'm like I said, I think what we're going to see here is a very different style of holding the basement, and that's exactly what PENTA's going up against here.
Yeah, castle barricades left, right, and center, which you say Sledge can get through with one set, but he's got to wait for the pressure from his team to come elsewhere. They do have that drop through the bar to safety if they all need to get out, but it's a very open and exposed drop, so if the angles of attack are already there for P Ducks, then we have to catch them off before they fall down through that. But PENTA are gone. They're already out and safe. Playing Ducks are a little bit cautious about what's around, but they're droning it, and they're aware, and they now feel comfortable enough to move on in and start pushing towards the basement site. So ultimately, PENTA, yeah, okay, it's a minute and 20 seconds that have burnt off the clock, but that's not particularly new or unsurprising.
I mean, the good thing about the defense and how they held that top was they wasted, like I said, a little bit of time, but they didn't lose anyone in the process. So it's almost like nothing really occurred negatively for the defenders.
No. So lucky on that Hibana has a couple of extra charges left over, not having to blow some of these trapdoors up herself. Now can be used as one of these entry fraggers, one of these first man in strength operators, just like Ash, thanks to that beautiful weapon that Hibana now holds. So as the smokes and flashbangs start to come out, start to clear the trophies, Playing Ducks are going to drop into the basement site. Enemy leading the way with that R4C in hand.
You do see Castle right by the soda machine inside a church. He's looking up. He doesn't have the shotgun, though. He's got the UMP, but it looks like LMs is going to be picking up 2 from PENTA here.
Yeah, he dropped into blue, picked up 2 kills very quickly. Now you see Lackey journeying inside the bar, ready for enemy to push on in. Misses the first couple of shots, but he's going to pressure side deep into the site. Crouches around and sees the first one. Can't quite find the second one in the corner. Gets traded out by Tooney, but he will go down as soon as he finishes the reload because Meepy's there for him. And then the guys pressure in from blue. Lackey with the final kill, and Playing Ducks, despite having that slightly changed course of attack through to the weird setup in bar, get in and execute down on that basement, same as we've ever seen before, with great success.
Yeah, and I mean, the push what we saw there was a very standard push from main corridor, main stairs, as well as the garage. We didn't see any kind of pressure come in from the cave entrance, which, barring Season 2, Season 3 was kind of the focus. I mean, it was come in through cave, come in through the garage hallway, pinch them, push them into church, push them underneath kitchen. And I think one of the things that we might see here from PENTA is that kind of push, going in from church. I'm sorry, going in from cave, going in from garage, and then having a Buck or someone. It looks like Buck to cover the kitchen floor.
Yeah. So Playing Ducks, you just come up against such a defense. You now have an option to do so yourself, what do we got set? Elems is currently the only man upstairs on his own, and he is reinforcing that bar hatch. He is playing a little more standard, a little bit more familiar as far as we're concerned. But he heads across towards kitchen to finish that one up before someone will come up and do, yeah, there we go, Lucky coming up with his cameras to do that third and final one. So we're going to see a more traditional defense from playing Ducks, sitting down in the basement beforehand. They are coming up against Penta's attack force, which they have been one of these teams that runs it everywhere, no matter what. Hibana and Thermite as a combo.
That's a little bit different. I don't think I've seen that before. We just saw Rook utilize one of those impact grenades to get rid of some of the pallets down there by the entrance of Cave. And I think that's so he can tuck himself in a little bit easier, a little bit better. But it looks like Six is going to be picking up the first kill into Enemy as he peeks out.
Yeah, Enemy being a little bit overly aggressive. That Jaeger up in the garage, taken out of the picture already. Something else which a lot of people didn't think they were going to see anymore is a Blackbeard. Pengu currently running it, still using that Mark 17. There is a little bit of a discussion, shall we say, going on between a lot of the pros that still run Blackbeard as to which weapon is actually the best now. Some people still start to run DMR these days, but there is no doubt about it, the Blackbeard is still actually a very viable operator. When you can block 1 or 2 headshots at pro level at this top tier of gameplay, that can be the difference between a round and a loss. So they're going to keep such a thing in their arsenal, and Pengu starts off by making his way down towards the bar and having a look through that trapdoor.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, the push that we're going to see here is very similar to the one we just saw playing Ducks utilize last round, where they're going to be pushing down main stairs, they're going to be pushing down Blue Hall. And, I mean, from a defensive standpoint, they're holding it the way that we saw Penta. You've got some people in church, you've got, looks like Rook, and I believe that is Valkyrie, stationed inside of the church, or sorry, inside of the armory. But I believe the kitchen hatch got opened up. If we
did, yeah.
take a look on over.
They've got Hibana. All 3 hatches are wide open.
So, all right. So we've got, looks like Buck is going to be droning out from Motorcycle, moving on into the church, and he's going to spot Meepy laying down around the wall. Not sure if he's comfortable dropping just yet.
Thinking about it, he's got some teammates already down there waiting to receive, but they are still waiting to make sure they triply know where everyone from
Ooh, and up on top of the minibar is going to be, looks like Panics.
Very nice angle. It's very rare you see that wall left open because it can provide a very easy access for the defense, but you're playing it aggressively like that. We talked about these new aggressive defenders. Gives Panics a quick kill onto the Hibana. The thermite charge is going to go off onside the wall there, and it gives him another spot to play aggressively forward. He's looking for the first man to come across, but the smoke grenades are already planted and keeping them held out. 30 seconds on the clock, and you can hear them dropping and moving around in Memorial, but it is a Blackbeard, so now he's got his gun up. It's going to be slow for him to come in. Picks up 1 kill, and Rendier picks up a second. Peeks on around, he'll find one. That's the diffuser. Has Sai in the corridor, but is now a little bit pinned himself. Blackbeard coming in from behind means that kill will go over to Pengu, and he can get the revive on the thermite. It is all now down to Elems with this Rook in Clubhouse to try and hold against 4. Thanks to the hole he made in the far side of gold, Sai can push in and shut him down.
And I mean, what we saw there was the execution that Penta definitely just was looking to get the entire time. You had Blackbeard pushing. He knew that Meepy was there due to the droning earlier on. So he knew that smoke was already in the back of church, got the shot down onto him. And from there, it was just a matter of Castle, who was the last guy in church. He came around, didn't get the kill all the way onto Thermite, downed him, but didn't take him out. Buck was able to make sure he didn't go for a repeat, and Blackbeard came in behind to sweep him up from Motorcycle.
So, playing Ducks out onto attack. And see if they have a better job. Playing Ducks. Gonna have to fight up against a similar kind of defense. Penta are already breaking that trapdoor, already getting prepared to go on upstairs. Last time they fell back very early on without doing any kind of real damage to much, not even really to the clock. So we'll see if they can do a better job of it this time.
So I'm thinking if you don't need to reinforce, if there's 2 hatches that you don't need to reinforce, that's 2 more reinforcements that you have to utilize elsewhere. And I'm thinking what they're planning on doing is kind of securing both sides of church. Either that, oh no, we can actually see those 2 are going to be used by pool table wall. Tooney's getting that right now. So almost looks like they're setting up similar to how you would for a a bar and stockroom hold, even though bars or in the bomb site's downstairs.
Yeah, I mean, when you're setting a bar stockroom hold, the bomb is in the bar. You're holding the
Yeah.
bar, right? So this is what they're doing. They're castling over a pool table. They're castling over the strip corridor, and they're reinforcing the strip side. And then they're going to play upstairs and try and hold this as best they can. Six cutter once again, very aggressive, looking out towards. Oh, he's added a U to his name now. It is Six Quattro now, not Catra. So he's sitting there and aggressively firing into the garage. The drones are all coming in, but nobody in there yet. It's just the little drones. Now, once more, Sledge will come in across towards Strip, but this time he has someone there to drone for him. Enemy is leading the charge with that kind of vision, which allows Alems to be a little bit more aggressive and already have his gun up ready for anyone on their fallback. If they don't all use that trapdoor, he's going to try and pick off some heads.
Yeah, and you can see the crossfires that Penta has here. You've got that is Toonie right inside by bar. You've also got, I believe that is 6 on the other side of brick wall, and he was covering basically the flank or the side strap. But if you actually look right above, that's going to be Castle. Looking down through the drop hatch, sees Alems. Alems misses the shots, and he'll be down but not out just yet.
Yeah, down but not out. Enemy now is cautiously trying to help out. He's looking towards the same trapdoor from outside the pool table wall, but can't quite catch the castle out as he tries to fall back. Meanwhile, everyone else has fallen out of the bar, and Sai now has to try and fall away to safety. Gets down the staircase with a bit of help from Sai. It was the risky route, but he made it. And they do lose control of the bar. But they've done more damage this time. They downed Alems. That's going to require a revive from his team. They also burnt a little bit extra time off the clock that Playing Ducks now have to reconsider and reappreciate their attack for the basement.
Motorcycle hatch, as we already noted before, got opened up by the defenders early on in the prep phase. So looks like Lackey's only going to need to get the kitchen, which we see him getting right now, and then he's going to go over to stock and get that as well. But, I mean, 60 seconds left to go. It's still going to be a typical push that we see here from the attackers. A lot of teams don't push until that final 30 seconds even. So it's while Penta did waste a lot of time, it's still here for P-Ducks.
Yeah, Alems picks up his drone and heads back towards garage, and will now start to push down through here. This is where he came in before. This is where he did all the damage at the start of their last attack. This time there's a big hole at the far end, which he can see, and he knows there's a Pengu on the other side of it. The shots rattled over his drone as he started to send it down there. Was he aware of Toonie on the other side, though? Peeks around. Pengu sees him come in and does push out of the construction tunnel. Is ready for him to come around the corner. Alems thinks he's on the left, but is now cautious and checking the tunnel some more. Pressure from elsewhere, and he's going to have to start arriving now from P-Ducks. He wants to try and save his drone, but in doing so, he just exposes himself to a free kill for Toonie from the tunnel. Pengu gets panicked down the corridor. Rendier takes down enemy who tries to push in, and Meepy with the diffuser is pushing in through Memorial. Does get one trade onto Lackey through in the corridor, but Meepy walks straight into Rendier and Pengu's side, so it's a great crossfire that they had set up to hold that Memorial drop this time, and Penta hold firm.
And I mean, like, so what that basically just told me was that they were comfortable in setting up, but in the final execution, P-Ducks just didn't necessarily understand what to do there. A lot of it came down to, I mean, we saw inside of the garage tunnel, forget exactly which player that was, but he looked on his drone in the middle of the hallway because he didn't want to destroy the drone when he threw the nade to get the barbed wire. So, I mean, it was just a matter of, all right, should have been something that would have been done a little bit sooner. Maybe less consideration was put into that thought, because it ultimately cost him his life. And as we saw in the church or in the cave hallway, Echo, I believe he saw on the black eye that attacker come down the garage hall. So he knew, okay, I got to get in position. I'm just going to wait time, and when I hear him go into that drone, then he turned around and got the kill.
Yeah, so we're trying to obviously sort the game sounds out for you guys because we can't hear him either. There's something not quite right with the setup. We'll get it fixed as soon as this map is done because couldn't do it there on that small break. Shield in the middle of the room there for Bar inside the A-bomb site here for Playing Ducks. It will give someone that's playing in there a little bit of extra defense for the push in from Memorial Drop when it arrives. They are also fully reinforcing the blue wall from that same side, so no one's going to be able to push in and crossfire that from behind instead. Meanwhile, upstairs is the same as before, going for full reinforcements, going for just a straight basement hold. See if they can do that better than they did last time around.
Yeah, and so kind of like you had said, they got the back church wall facing blue, which, in my opinion, sometimes is better for the attackers than for the defenders, because a lot of times attackers are hesitant to push up because they don't know what's on the other side of that wall. They don't know that cross well enough. But when you give them the luxury of only focusing on the arsenal room, it could be more in favor of the attackers than defenders in some cases.
Yeah, so let's see exactly how Penta handle it. We do see Toonie running Ash with that hollow sight Going to approach the building and get in pretty rapidly as he makes his way across and in sight. They are still journeying it and checking the upstairs is empty, and they will find that conclusion pretty soon because all 5 members of Playing Ducks are sitting downstairs. They've actually got a pretty mobile yet squishy lineup in there. No 3 armors, no rooks, no slow, steady operators. So whatever they do end up fighting, it's going to be a pretty nippy, hectic fight.
Mm-hmm. And I've said it before, but when you see a team that chooses the fast operators, the ones that are built for gunshots, to me, it shows confidence in that team's ability to win the gunfights. It shows confidence that they've got confidence in themselves, not necessarily for their strat execution, but when it comes time to lay the trigger down and get that gunfight, they're going to be the ones that will get those kills.
Sai currently making a bunch of holes in the floor and giving himself an angle in towards the front side of Church here. Doesn't want to get caught off guard here by that Panic's peak that was catching his team out from before. The wall is still open and does still provide such an angle for Panics, but Sai is making sure they take out any kind of batteries and anything that might stop them breaching that rest of the wall.
Yeah, see, I think knowing that this is kind of how P-Duck set up last time.
Oh, enemy getting a little bit unsure, a little bit impatient.
Yeah.
Starts to peek back up through those holes made in the floor just as Sai returns to it and actually straight up loses that gunfight. Sai didn't even take a single point of damage in that exchange, so they are down to 4 players on defense. Pengu now dropped into the basement. Does lose out 1 shield by the looks of things. And of course now has to fight against Meepy, who has a shield placed inside that memorial area, inside that bomb site to help him fight such an engagement.
So here's going to be the nade going from Rendir to open up the castle barricade, which you see. But there's 40 seconds left, and C4 is going to go flying, hurts Rendir just a little bit, pre-fires through the wall and gets the kill as Panix is able to get one onto Tooney.
Yeah, Tooney goes down, but Rendir trades Lackey back through that wall. C4 didn't quite do enough. Meepy, though, smoking off Pengu well and holding him in here with Sai included. There's the grenades now coming up and over. They're going to head towards Panix inside the church. Sai doesn't quite look far enough over, though, and gets picked off by Panix from inside. He and Meepy now holding this as a twosome, and Elems is trying to hold Rendir off on his own. Rendir's grenade did not blow up that castle barricade, though, and that's going to really help it. Meepy now firing onto 6 Quattro, who is going to get pushed by 1 more member of Playing Ducks. Meepy there for the crossfire onto Pengu, who tried to push in, and Elems there seals off Rendir as he's the last man standing for a good Playing Ducks hold.
So I mean, with that, what we're seeing is just a very structured defense here from Playing Ducks. I think kind of one of the things that didn't go in favor of Penta there was that nade that didn't get the castle wall. LMs basically just couldn't get through. So
yeah, I believe it rolled underneath and was trophy systemed from the other side, so it didn't go through. But it's unfortunate. That's the danger you play of using grenades to take out castle barricades. They're not always reliable. That's why we've got breach charges and hammers and plenty of other things to do it. And that time around, they did pay the price. But the main reason that attack fell apart was those 2 players, that 6 Quattro Thermite and Pengu Blackbeard, trying to push on through from the front corridor.
Yep.
As soon as they couldn't pick off Meepy and they couldn't pick off the castle that was in there, the Panics, they were stuck. Panix was then able to get aggressive. He took down the Thermite. Pengu was then stuck in a 1v2, and despite trying to push in and trade back on the very aggressive castle, Meepy was there and ready to shut him out when he didn't have a shield in hand, and that helped them hold that church. And no matter what Rendir had done from there, if he'd opened that door or what, Rendir was in a 3v1 and was not going to pull that off.
Yep. So we're going to see Bomb go back up to the bar and stockroom now, and basically what we just saw Pengu do is open up the wall in between. I mean, something we've always seen. However, what we don't necessarily see is a Jaeger going up to cash room. And so what I think he's going to be doing, what Tooney's going to be doing, is trying to pre-fire, and we see it here. He's going to be peeking out. 6 is going to be peeking out towards the front spawn, and I believe Tooney might be peeking out towards the others as well.
Ooh, 6 Quattro just skates across the top of that Capital's head. He jumps straight out of the top of the cash room window. We know how he likes to be aggressive on spawns, but that's taking it to a whole nother level. He has now been droned on this top floor and is being watched by LMs the entire way. Lackey's drone is also up here. And actually LMs is looking in. He does see him, but can't land the kill, and 6 Cutter will make him pay for it. Takes down the Thermite, and that's big when attacking the bar. That kill of all kills. Especially when they don't have a Hibana in this lineup. Playing Ducks now losing a lot of their breaching power. It means they're going to have to almost certainly go for a B push and not a whole lot else. And when they've got Tooney and 6 Cutter upstairs already inside the cash room and inside the garage, that B push is tough to begin with.
And it looks like Six is going to be injured. He's not down just yet, or he's not killed off just yet, but he will be killed here soon. Panix knows that he injured him, so he's going to rush on over, sees him, gets the kill. And we have one last player alive upstairs, and that's going to be Bandit.
Yeah, Bandit was upstairs on the other side, though, by the master bedrooms in the gym. He's cautious of someone pushing in this side to try and hunt him out, but all the attention from Peeing Ducks is over here towards Tooney right now. Lots of drones are being sent this way. This is about the 5th one that he and Six Cutter have killed as a combo. So they know where he is, and they have droned it repeatedly, but they still haven't quite figured out how to get in there and actually take him out. The garage door is unsure. I do send a buck inside the cash room and make a hole through the wall to the stairs itself, but he still gets down and into the little storage cupboard. Now upstairs, Pengu. It's not quite upstairs, it's a slight issue, but inside the B site, he's holding enemy off from one edge, but he's also got to be cautious of the buck that's above his head now. Still over on the other side, Sai has a nice big hole that he can look at and might be able to use his 3 speed here to get across and actually catch Lackey by surprise. 50 seconds on the clock means he has got the luxury of time and he can hold it for a while. But
looks like Rendier is going to fall a little bit, and Panix is going to push in from the lobby side, though. And Pengu right now is just holding inside a stock. There is going to be Lackey above him, going to throw down one grenade, almost kills him, but it just shaves off a little of the damage. Pengu comes around, gets the headshot onto Panix, though.
He's using those smoke grenades to hold Ash outside. He knew that the Capital was coming from that way thanks to the down onto Valkyrie, but she gets revived now by Bandit, who came down. Tooney has picked off a kill onto Lackey inside the garage, and now it is Meepy alone. He does pick up the kill, or with the help from enemy outside onto Pengu. There's Meepy picking off Rendier as he tries to strafe across the bar, and they're back to a 2v2, but with 10 seconds on the clock, they have to dodge around from these last two. Inside the lounge, he has
sneaks on in and gets the kill!
Tooney slips himself between the pair of them. Meepy and enemy did not have that doorway covered well enough, and in he comes to pick off one on the plant and one on the far side.
Yeah. I mean, Ash threw the smoke grenade hoping to kind of just alleviate that push from stock or from the lobby. And as soon as he threw it, he turned his head to the right, went down towards the kitchen entrance. And next thing you know, Jaeger pushed himself on in.
It was a nice attempt from Playing Ducks to kick it off. They got the down onto Valkyrie inside the bar, and that was great, but they couldn't finish her. And as soon as she got revived up, they're down into a 4 versus 2 because, yes, okay, Capital downed her and made his push, and then he doesn't know he downed her. He wasn't aware of it. He couldn't go and finish it, and then he pushes straight into the waiting Pengu, who, yes, was made to dance around a couple of grenades and was a little bit pressured from enemy, but the smoke grenades were keeping enemy out. He knows all he had to do was focus on that one doorway. The buck was just throwing grenades and didn't really have a perfect sight line on him, so all he had to do was kill that Capital, and he got that kill, and that swung that round.
And I mean, if I'm hoping that we're not going to see the same kind of issues that we saw on the attack side. From playing Ducks, basically what happened last round was their Thermite got killed off right away by 6. And so hopefully that same scenario won't happen where we're going to have the Hibana get picked off. Because I think that kind of very, very quickly determined how that round was going to go.
Now you look at the lineup here from Penta though, and it is very much a, alright, we've got a Montagne, we're going to go in, we've got a Blackbeard, we're going to stick the Montagne in this doorway, and we're going to put the Blackbeard behind it, and we're going to plant, and we're going to peek, and we're going to be fine, and we're going to be safe. So where does Havana really come into that? Well, she may come into Garage, and she may make a hole or two into here to help them get control of the lounge, but with this door castle, they can actually use that to their advantage. She may just straight up go over towards Strip, and be a nuisance and make some holes over there, just to give that shot in the back, to just be that little bit of annoyance on the opposite side and keep Playing Ducks busy. So it'll be interesting to watch where they use her, but she's certainly not going to be as pivotal to the whole, if she dies, we lose the round, as the Thermite was.
I think what I would like to see from Hibana in this scenario, where they do have that wall castled off, is not go for the garage wall to get opened up, but head inside a kitchen, open up the backside of bar.
Yeah.
And kind of push them out from the tables there by the brick wall. Because I mean, if you're trying to go for that stockroom push, you're going to have Buck and Castro. You're going to have Blackbeard and Montaigne push in from stock, from Kennel's area. Hibana is going to be that one operator that can float around. Capital should be pushing in from the kitchen side, and basically he'll be able to smoke off the far wall facing bar, and he'll also be able to, not in this scenario again because the castle wall is barricaded, but lay down a fire arrow there as well. So he should be able to help push smoke out of there, or at least kill him if not anything else. But I mean, that's kind of the setup of what I'm expecting to see.
No, Pengu peeking in through to the B site. Doesn't have sight onto LMs, who is on the far side of the bar, and 6 Quatra on the shield is actually pinned off on the far side of the castle barricade that I do think just got grenaded open. but he is not near the B site just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to edge his way forward. He knows enemy was around that corner. Rendia's drone is confirming and denying that for him. He sees that he's now moved to the jukebox. There is a smoke inside the actual bomb site, and that is who they need to get out of there before Six can move forward towards the site for real. He's also running the P9, which as a pistol is argued as to being
And that's smoke.
Montaigne's worst. There is the smoke gone. He was shotgunned through the roof by Buck and then picked off by Pengu as he tried to run away. The Blackbeard at the doorway covering him down, and this will allow the push into plant. Flashbangs go through to take out the trophies. The smokes will go in a moment. The diffuser has been dropped and then picked up. Enemy comes into the room, but he gets around and takes out the Blackbeard straight through the shield. Enemy with the aggression and the speed and the great gunplay takes down a very, very squishy Blackbeard now, without taking too much damage himself either. However, he doesn't have the most tools to use to get around this Montaigne. Sixcratcher looking to make his way in, but...
So LMs gets injured by a nade being thrown in. Rendier's going to pick off that kill onto LMs and finish him off.
He has that shield now to look after him, though. Tooney is very close to this door, comes on around the corner, and with the speed and the quick duck, he takes out enemies. So that site is under their control. Gets Lackey inside the bar as well, and now it's all on Panics. He's up and above. Does see Sixcratcher. Doesn't see where the diffuser is, though. He needs to find the Buck, but he don't know which one of them has it. He can hear the plant is going down, and there it is. He now has to find all four and defuse. There's the Buck now on his screens. They don't seem to know he's upstairs. He misses the shots while she's in the barbed wire and will fall through the ladder and into side sightlines to give Penta another secure round. And ultimately, the jaws of victory slowly closing in around as Penta have moved themselves onto match point.
So, I mean, Penta, again, this is a best of 3, so if they can secure this one, it's going to be just like other LAN finals where basically you've got one under the belt, only need to win one more map, and that next map, I believe, is Consulate.
Yeah, and it would be Penta's pick too, so it's Penta's choice of map second round over. Penta now moving into Church and Arsenal room defense of their own. They, of course, did successfully hold the bar upstairs and can now go back down.
Now, we've seen Echo chosen on Penta's side every time, but I haven't really seen him be overly useful, especially with the yokai.
Well, we saw Pengu controlling blue, controlling that corridor. Now, we immediately went to and said he saw the LMs push, saw the sledge push forward using a Valkyrie camera.
Yeah.
Could have been the yokai drone very easily.
Very could have been, yep.
You don't see the drunk effect on Spectate. He may have never used it. He may literally just have used it as a fourth camera, which is also a very powerful use of such a drone, and then just uses the MP5 with its great headshot, first shot, no recoil basically, to control that tunnel, control that very easy space. He also brings barbed wire to the table and a fourth camera. It's great. So yeah, that may well have been what we saw him do it for. And they also used his shotgun earlier on to make rotate holes, and he has got the shotgun here again. So he's using that and the bearing 9 as his main force here. So yeah, Echo, to some teams, still very, very useful, but ultimately to most, more as a fourth camera than as an actual...
Than a resource utilization from his shotgun and other stuff, which, like you had pointed out, is being used here, but I don't think many teams see that as an option. Kind of like with Smoke, a lot of people do see that shotgun as the option to make murder holes. I don't think people necessarily consider that yet for Echo.
So, Sixcratcher once again playing very aggressively on this staircase, takes out a couple of drones in the bar before heading down to join the rest of his team in safety. Thinks about making some holes in the floor and has a mute jam here to help himself covered. He thinks he's being rushed in from behind. He's trying to catch anyone by surprise that may be doing such a thing, but right now that isn't the case. Playing Ducks are only just about getting inside. Leading the charge is enemy on this Ash. He does come quickly up to the staircase. Panics, though, is droning down there for him. Will get jammed out. Now he has to lead the way a little bit blinder. But we can take out the jammer and the drones will come and join him in a moment. Rest of his team are inside the bar, and while they did pre-open that trapdoor again, this time Penta didn't even begin to try and hold it. They all stayed downstairs from the start. So just playing a little bit of the mind games out. And the mute jammers are being EMP'd and taken out by everyone on Playing Ducks, but it's still taking them half of the round rather, to get close to this basement.
So Smoke Grenade's going to go out, and most likely we're going to see one of the attackers fall down in motorcycle and then probably push over to the church wall. But I mean, Lackey's got got the utility to get it down, open up the church wall. Whether or not he's going to, it's something we really haven't seen him do just yet.
LMs is once again down here inside the tunnel. You do see the UK drone from Pengu, which just moved around and placed in position to hold it. And because LM saw it driving in there and then sticking to the roof, he has decided to just give up on that push. He's not going anywhere near the path down. He's going to go straight underneath and try and grenade it all out instead. Take away the grenade, take away the barbed wire with his grenade. If he gets lucky, maybe the drone, but it was just about too far wide. He also has side to contend with. The next grenade goes on in and also doesn't touch anything really of note. The UK drone is still alive. Sai is hiding in this corner. Pengu on the other side has a great cross, but that grenade will take Pengu down. Tooney's going to run on over and try and pick him up. Changes his mind.
Curious where the third nade came from, because we saw Capital throw 2 down, I thought, before Pengu
Sledge
fell.
threw 2 down, and then Capital went over there and helped him, and that put Pengu down. Meanwhile, Rendier is fighting in the front side of Church with the Thatcher. He loses out that fight, and Lackey pushes in to take down Tooney. Pengu is back on his feet now, so it is 3v5. But Penta are losing men left, right, and center. Six Quattro will finally trade one back, but then they do lose Pengu. LMs is inside blue. Sai, sorry, LMs is inside Church with the plant down. Sai is now inside blue and has to try and hold it in his own. Six Quattro cannot make the rotate round as he is picked off by the man inside the corridor. And Lackey, with a little bit of help from LMs, finishes off Sai. And they hold firm for playing Ducks with their diffuser down to keep them in this game 4 rounds to 3.
Yeah, so PDX hasn't given up yet, as I would expect no team to give up under these circumstances. So we're still going into round 8 now. It's still match point, or map point, we'll say, for Penta. But I think playing Ducks, seeing as how they played in the Season 3 finals, watching them play in there, I can tell that we're probably going to go into overtime here. Playing Ducks is not one of the teams to just roll over when the odds are not in their favor.
That's definitely true. They are now back onto defense, and they've had mixed success with the basement floor. They had a good attack there, taking control of motorway and taking control of that far side of Church, and not going too deep into the site. Letting them hold, making Penta to come back and push in towards they themselves, picking them up when they did. A lot of teams could overextend. A lot of teams are trying to go too deep into Church, too deep into blue, and throw their lives away for a whole lot of nothing. Playing Ducks held it. They got the plant down, that's all they needed.
I believe enemy is going to potentially head up through garage so he can get the drop hatch. Oh, no, sorry, that's Lackey getting the drop hatch of stockroom.
Enemy makes another big hole at the top of blue, so they can stand on the back and cover through that way. Now enemy will head upstairs, all the way upstairs in fact, towards the top floor.
Thinks better of it and decides to retreat. Now Panics is the last one alive here, or last one upstairs, but ultimately looks like he's just going to stay on the stairs and possibly give a little bit of a distraction, maybe a little bit of pressure, but ultimately it's just going to take one appearance from the attackers to push him back down.
Yeah, so everyone playing Ducks back down to the safety of the basement as Penta begin to drone every last little space around upstairs. Pengu up on the roof does drone this very, very top floor, which is where we almost saw the Jaeger run off to, but he has changed his mind, so Pengu is comfortable with that and starts to head down. Six Quattro, no early kill this time. Makes his way back towards the bar and will come and join for safety in there. Tooney going to go and help him out. Starts to punch his way in after the first few drones have told him it's clear and safe to do so, and while he's doing that, the Thermite would of course be droning the rest of the bar around him. So he starts to make his work on the trapdoors, all 3 of them. They're open and exposed. So he'll just pick them off one by one and then head slowly but surely over towards kitchen in a minute, depending on the push that Penta want to do.
Yeah, I'm still kind of curious where Fuse is. Seeing as how there is the kitchen, which has been opened up almost every time, it seems like it's pushing the defenders out of kitchen, or out of the arsenal room underneath kitchen, but we're not seeing a Fuse play. And I don't know if that's just due to the way that these teams are playing and wanting to push down from main stairs and garage corridor as opposed to pushing in through cave, but it looks like regardless, Penta's here ready with the 5 attackers they've got.
So peeking in towards blue with his shield on is Pengu. He's looking for that head to come up and around the chair. It's not going to happen though. Meepy has that deployable shield in place. It's what helped them hold it so firmly before. Six Quattro's drone is going to go in and be taken out by Meepy. So the call's going to come that he's behind the shield. Pengu pre-fires a couple of the spots, one side of each of it. Meepy keeps his head down, doesn't peek out. Now through the gap in it, he's going to start firing back onto Pengu's Blackbeard, who is now very, very low, but still alive. Six Scratcher's going to come and join him. That's the Thermite now. Rendy is pushed down to blue already. They are having a little bit of issue getting through here. I'm going to help try and punch it out. Rendy are taken out by Lackey's C4. That's blue back into Playing Duck's control. Pengu's going to join his team now inside this corridor and try and peek over, and does get the kill onto Panics. Looks for Meepy, gets him as well, because now he's exposed and they can Thermite open the church wall. 4 rounds to 3. Penta can end this map right here. They are now 4 versus 3. Make that 3v3 as enemy peeks into the corridor, takes down Pengu. Lackey takes off 6 Squatcher, and at the same time, Elems has finished off Tooney. Sai is now alone because he was the masked man upstairs. He has no diffuser. He only has 10 seconds. He's going to move over towards blue. Tries to get around behind him and maybe surprise all 3, but it is not going to be catching them off guard. Enemy picks him up, and it is overtime between Penta and Playing Ducks.
So very close round. I mean, we saw it get to 3-3. I mean, it was 5-3 Penta, or 4-3 Penta was up in man count. But Jaeger, we saw, got the kill down down the main stairs hallway facing motorcycle, picked off the Blackbeard. Also got another one there. And next thing you know, round was over. Playing Ducks won it.
So down to the basement gets Playing Ducks' next attempt at defense. They just held it to push us here. They just put us on overtime by holding that very same site. They have held with that same fashion twice in a row now on the basement. Can they continue it up and get themselves an early lead here in overtime?
I think it's doable. I mean, Penta definitely is going to put up a fight here. But again, we're going to see the same operators chosen as last time for Penta, especially down here on this push. Except for, it looks like we are, I want to say, missing the Thatcher. They appear to have brought the Ash instead. Yeah,
bringing Ash back into it instead of a Thatcher. Maybe going for a slightly more energetic push, maybe slightly faster go. They also lacking the Capitao, which is what Rendier was running on their last attack when he tried to push blue, and he tried to take control of that on his own, which he did get control of it, but then he was C4'd out by Lackey's Valkyrie. So we'll see if this time, maybe rather than going into the blue and trying to hold it firm with something like Capitao, he's going to try and go in there and sprint through into the armory. Maybe he's going to be aggressive in towards that armory site instead, or if they're going to use him completely differently and nowhere near the blue area.
So what do you think has been the reason why we aren't seeing a cave push at all? There's been no attention put on cave.
EU never has, really. It's been an NA thing. They always go cave, and they, to be fair, have great success doing it. They pressure there and head on around, but Europe have always been the teams and the region to put more pressure on Memorial and put more pressure on blue and the main staircase, and we've never really had an answer as to why they're doing it, because that one person inside cave could then completely change the entire round while everyone's pushing over here. But they would rather stick in the groups and in the pairs and not leave that one person solo.
So, I mean, we are here in the first round of overtime, and it looks like Rendier is going to be pushing in towards the lobby, going on over towards the garage entrance.
Yeah, gets in pretty quickly because once again they know Playing Ducks don't play anyone upstairs, and they start making their way around towards the various hatches and the various holes that they need to take out trophy systems, take out hatches. Actually, no, Six Quattro did both of these traps. Oh, sorry, did one of these traps. Tooney already lost all 3 of his charges, so where did he use the 3rd one?
I mean, I believe we saw all of the drop hatches.
Yeah, they're all open, but I mean, Thermite did the one in stock.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, so we jumped to him just as he ran away from there and clicked his thing, and it started to fizzle down. So unless...
Did he use it to open up the castle wall by chance? No, he was just hitting that, so yeah. I don't know.
So interesting to see where he used that 3rd Kairos. But either way, the hatches are all open again. Penta are very quickly starting to pressure in towards the site. Pengu hasn't dropped into Memorial this time. He's coming down the front staircase and he's trying to fight Panics through the holes that Playing Ducks made. Panics does end up losing that trade. He's got less health now than anyone else involved, but the smoke grenades are going out to lock Penta that way. Six Quattro fires down into blue and comes out on top. Lackey will fall. So they do lose out their Valkyrie. They also lose out on the C4. Smoke grenading now so he can drop in safely. He does fall down into the barbed wire. It starts to step up and walk away, but he's still got plenty of health left. Now he's going to use his remaining thermite charge on this back side, but it will get taken out. It was already batteried, and he gets down through the wall after the call came that he was planting it there. No one close to help revive him. He is going to stay down there for the rest of the round now. Tooney inside Memorial. Pengu dances across the gap and is looking over the top of these boxes now. Cannot see Meepy through there.
Doesn't
he is
see
right
Meepy's
there,
legs either.
underneath the table.
Pengu rushes in and Doesn't have the diffuser to start the plant, though, and enemy's going to pick up that kill into 6 and finish him off.
He is, but then Pengu will fall to Panics, tucked in the corner. Pengu's going to kick himself for that later, but Rendier has finally started to trade it back. Takes one down before Tooney will then trade Panics out, so they are helping the numbers stay even. Tooney getting another one to LMs means it's now all onto enemy. He comes behind, finds one, stops the plant with a second, and it's now 1v1. Sai versus enemy. Enemy doesn't have a lot of health, but Sai doesn't have the diffuser, and with 3 seconds on the clock stuck in the barbed wire, he has no chance. Good hold and a great recovery from enemy.
I mean, that's why these teams are some of the top teams in the world. You've got the awareness, the knowledge to just say, I don't need to engage in this 1v1. I know he's already pushing in from Arsenal. I'm just going to pick the furthest corner possible, stick myself in there, because he's going to be thinking I'm inside of the bomb site, and I won't be there. And it's that knowledge to play the time instead of play the player that ultimately sometimes determines the champion.
Playing Ducks going from 4-2 down, up now 5 rounds to 4. They're switching things up, and now obviously they're going to have to attack. Penta wants more defense downstairs, but still a little bit unsure about how they're going to set it up and what operators they're going to choose to take it. Sai at the last second does switch over and choose to go with the castle. Every round, their defense of this basement has included a destruction of the trapdoor and bar, and castle barricades upstairs. They haven't always put players up there, but they have always destroyed that trapdoor and played and used a lot of reinforcements upstairs. We'll see whether they go back to that or if they stick with things a little bit more traditional.
Looks as though playing Ducks is going to stick with the operators that they've typically been choosing, especially on this bottom bomb site hold. I haven't necessarily seen Ash's breach charges kind of play a vital role. What I would be expecting to see oftentimes is that Ash to open up the Arsenal side wall downstairs on the basement. We haven't seen reinforcements there, but we also haven't seen it get opened up except for once, and that was when I believe Buck had pushed in and gotten the kill to win the round. But we're not seeing some of the more standard plays from the attack side that we've seen here in the past. And while there has been different defensive holds, the attackers, I want to say, have been adjusting themselves accordingly too.
So the attack starts to come out from playing Ducks. They're going to go for a top floor take because they see that the trapdoor is open, all the castle barricades are around, but what they didn't seem to have noticed just yet is Tooney hiding over here inside cash room. He can do a lot of damage if they aren't aware of him. They are pushing in towards the master bedroom, they are pushing in towards the gym area. That is clean and safe, but they're going to take a lot of time doing it. Now they found him.
I actually don't think. That
drone
just
jumped straight past him. Jumped straight across, looked the other way. Tooney was not spotted on that drone. And, well, enemy does start the killing by taking out 6 Quattro on the staircase. 6 Quattro trying to play more aggressive on there the entire game. And this time, it bites him. He doesn't actually get anything from it and just loses out. Down now, Tooney will open up that window. Now they know that his team are there, definitely. But will he be able to do anything about it? Jumps out and no one else is left. Starts to make a push across from the other round.
Now you can see Habana inside a stock room. She's basically watching for this flank. Looks as though Tooney gets droned out, destroys it, but now he's kind of stuck on his own island up here. There's no way, unless he's going to try to rotate out and be detected while doing it, to get back downstairs.
So,
attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Getting detected is not the end of the world for him, to be honest, because
it's just
he
a
wants
matter
that
of creating a distraction. Yep.
Yeah, meanwhile, however, the rest of them are now a little bit unsure about where he's coming from. They've now got it spotted, and they will keep an eye on him. He actually went back into cash. Lackey moving away from it at this point. Who have they left there to watch for him? It doesn't look like anyone right now. They're all just focusing on downstairs, and they're just going to try and ignore him for as long as they can. Pengu will take down the first kill. It's Panics with 55 seconds on the clock, evens it back out to 4-4. Meanwhile, at the front staircase, Lackey is down here with enemy in tow. Enemy using this ACOG Ash to watch the far end. Just misses sight of that castle darting across the far end. Tooney now makes himself aware and takes down Meepy. Sai finished off by Elemzo, keeping the trades back and forth, but now Elemzo gets Pengu as well as a second one. Tooney's still on the staircase, and how has Ash's attention? Rendier inside the bar has lost control of Armory. Tooney upstairs, but the diffuser is in Tooney's sights. That is what's holding Penta in this. Upstairs comes Lackey. He dances across the diffuser, picks it up, does dish away and get down the trapdoor before Tooney sees it. But inside the bar he goes, and they pick off the kill onto Rendier. Tooney now has to go 1v4. Three rather.
Not there, and that's going to be
P-Ducks. Enemy catches him his way down the stairs. Playing Ducks turn it around from a 4-2 loss, or 4-2 deficit, to a 6-4
victory,
win
yeah.
in overtime for map number 1.
So, I mean, right there, that's exactly what we were talking about before, is that playing Ducks, they don't know how to lose. I mean, they've been tremendous on all of their gameplay here. And, like, although they were down 4-2, they didn't give up like many teams might have. They didn't let it get under their skin. I remember talking, I believe it was to Meepy, who said that they take it one round at a time. And if they do poorly on one round, they forget it, move on to the next. It doesn't linger with them and kind of tilt them and drag them down. And you can see that's exactly one of the factors that definitely played into their victory on this first map.
Yeah, it's also interesting to see the way that everyone obviously plays now Clubhouse, plays now that map. It is still very much, okay, the trapdoors are going to get blown. Penta just straight up helping them destroy half these trapdoors, giving their room is a little bit more movement, and just giving them that early peek. You can have someone sitting there say, all right, it's already open. I'm going to sit there and watch it. And if they aren't paying attention as they run past it, if they're not playing the right way, I can pick up that quick kill as they sprint past the gap and maybe grab one or here or there.
Yeah.
And it fits with the new aggressive style that Six Quattro has brought to Penta by having this Rook jumping out of windows at the start of round, by having this Rook be on the staircases, by looking for these early peaks. They then have these extra spots helping out with the aggression. Are really, really nice. But once Playing Ducks knew what was expected, once Playing Ducks knew what was coming, they were using these things to their advantage, and Tooney was almost just in the right place to shut down and help out the defense by flanking the perfect time and shutting out the diffuser.
Yeah,
But then he just couldn't
all
hold
he
it.
really needed to do was just peek around those stairs 2 seconds earlier, would have seen Habana trying to get into the bar to get that bomb or get the diffuser, but ultimately just comes down to timing, and he didn't have the time on his side that round.
Now we're looking towards our second map. It's going to be Consulate, and it is Penta's pick, and it is a very Penta-sided map. I mean, the old meta, it was Penta's because they could put a lot of the weight on Pengu and his Blackbeard, and he could play the windows, and he can just destroy teams by sitting there and being untouchable. Blackbeard hasn't quite got that level of strength anymore. He's still great. That's still how I expect they're going to use him.
Yep.
But it's what else comes into the match. We saw the Asian qualifiers earlier on this morning. People were still trying to run Montaigne on that very map, on the upstairs attacks for this site too. Don't think that's going to be the feature, but it's going to be different.
I think what we might see, at least for the top site hat, or the top site hold, the attackers might bring the Habana and try to open up the yellow stairs wall. Because what teams have wanted to do but have always been reluctant to is bring a thermite, before this is pre-Habana, bring a thermite and try to open up that yellow stairs wall so they can clear out that little closet, so they can then just focus on the main corridor in the lobby and also focus on the connector wall. But seeing as how now you can bring the Habana to do it from a range, I can see that being viable to get them out of the cubby, get them out of that closet, and then you can refocus yourself on the connector. As for kind of other pushes, we might see from a top bomb site hold a push in from the office or the admin office, and you could actually possibly call a Montaigne there, or see a Montaigne from there pushing up from the Visa stairs or in from admin, and then clearing out and holding the connector doorway, and then the rest of his team outside on the balcony of the projector room. I can see Montaigne being played, but he's also not as viable as if you were to say, let's see him on another map, like maybe Cafe or something. So I think what we're going to see are definitely different operator choices. I'm expecting to see a fuse when the diffuser or when the bomb site's downstairs, get him into piano, blow up the fuse there. But I think we're going to have to stay tuned and see, definitely.
Yep, we will find out. Let's go through then Consulate then. Remind us exactly what this map looks like, fly it in, and get this game back underway. Playing Ducks 1 round up. They only need this one more to advance through to our upper bracket final, as it were. But Penta are, of course, looking to try and turn the tide and shape it back up with a chance of their own. So, Playing Ducks are kicking us off on attack once more. And, well, Penta straight in with their defense operators once again, bringing that echo. And the castle again too. Castle, not a crazy surprise for the upstairs Consulate. People did it halfway through the Season 3 meta back with the last
We're actually going to see the lobby and the press room, first floor here.
They were bringing Castle in the middle of Season 3, then they kind of phased away from it. And yeah, then they bring him back, and as you mentioned, in a very different way in the lobby press room area.
I mean, I definitely recall when Season 3 first started, we saw teams practicing the first floor and also the top floor for Consulate. They kind of got rid of the basement mentality because it was easy to open up the garage wall to get rid of that bandit swapping, and then once it was taken, it was okay, let's push in and get the win. So I saw teams in the early Season 3 at least practicing, although we didn't see too much implementation of it, at least practicing this bomb hold, and for the most part, it worked out fairly well for him because as an attacker, you're very exposed from multiple different windows, multiple different angles, trying to push into that main corridor, that main entry point into the lobby. So I think what we might see here are the teams trying to push in either from garage, come up the yellow stairs, or potentially from Visa and push in that way, not necessarily going the brunt force come in from the mid or from the front.
What we're seeing here is PENTA putting a very heavy upstairs presence to defend this site. Now it is a very vertical site. They can shoot down onto a lot of it from here. And when Elems is picking off the first kill of the round like that, it's going to throw a huge mix in place there for PENTA. 6 Quattro. This isn't a map that you can do these kind of aggressive window peeks on so easily because they're so well known, they're so very telegraphed, they're so very obvious, and well, the lens makes him pay for it. They are looking to go and push in through the admin side, and that is going to mean the 3 players upstairs from PENTA are about to get a bit of action. But they have a lot of castle barricades, they have a lot of barbed wire, and they have a lot of reinforcements to help them hold firm. Quick update on our other game, by the way. Euronics versus G-Bots. They are currently on their second map. It is 5 rounds to 4 in favor of ESG playing Chalet. But they're on the second map because G-Bots won the first map, Oregon, 5 rounds to 0. Now, Euronics were, for a lot of people, the favorites to straight up win this close qualifier, to go to Montreal. But then losing 5-0 on a map like Oregon, that mixes things up quite a lot, so we'll see how that continues. Apparently EFG, as I said, that have just won Chalet, so they won that 6 rounds to 4, so it is 1-1, and they are also about to play on Consulate as their third deciding map. Penguin now holding one player off here on the Visa stairs. He's just been spraying into the wall and using his bearing for a while to keep Lackey at bay, but while he's doing that, they're obviously going to be closing in on him from other angles. Here you go. LM's coming up onto the A balcony now, taking his attention this way. And Pengu getting slowly pinned in. Gets a 1 as he comes on through, but LM's will trade him back. It is a 1-to-1, but the Hibana for the Echo is a nice trade, and for Peeing Ducks already having the 1-man advantage, even better. And to follow it up, they then grabbed a second kill elsewhere. They do, however, lose LMs to Sai as he peeks around the corner. He's on his drone. Panic falls off the roof and downs himself, giving away the man advantage the P-Ducks have and putting them in a 2v2. Sai now is upstairs still. Rendier has come to join it.
Diffuser is being planted, though, right now downstairs in the lobby.
Yeah, and the diffuser is downstairs. So all those two coming up are irrelevant. Meepy throws out a couple of EMPs, takes out anything he can that's lying around or any cameras that might not be on his screen. Sai will finish Panics off outside and is now enemy and Meepy against 2. Meepy currently sitting directly on the diffuser with a claymore in his hand, and Sai is pushing down the spiral staircase. He's going to walk straight into Meepy's crosshairs in just a moment. Sees the claymore. That gives the knowledge to Meepy that Sai's coming in that direction. He's going to leap over the barricade and get down out of the vision. Reindeer falls into the toilets, and enemy will finish him off, but Meepy will trade it out by Sai. Sai sees enemy come around the corner. Enemy misses the shot. He's going to go for the defuse. It's now on to enemy. Is he going to come hunting for it? He is. He has no time.
He's got no time.
But to hold it.
One of those exact moments, like when you're trying to plant the diffuser and you're already in overtime, you either have to go for it or stand up and lose. And it was either keep on diffusing or destroying the diffuser, or lose it. And as we saw there, that's going to be playing Ducks taking the first round.
Yeah, it's one of those things. All right, I'm going to hold it because if I come off, we instantly lose. If I stay on, he might miss the knife. He might screw up, might get stuck on something, might miss all his
A little bit of rainbow magic might have happened right there where the knife didn't actually count, but unfortunately.
He had to make it go, he had to make it stick. But either way, playing Ducks do successfully attack. The defense from PENTA looked good with those players upstairs, even losing 6 Quattro so on. Those players upstairs did a lot of damage, they held players up there, but then they decided to bring more players away from the bomb site and up to support, exposing the bomb site and giving it up to the 2 playing Ducks members that hadn't even attempted the top floor to get that plant down.
I think that was very smart of P-Ducks to basically recognize that, okay, we have 3 of our attackers top floor, we have them trying to push on and take control of that top floor, but I mean, what they realized was, hey, we can just have Ash and Thatcher go downstairs in the main lobby and plant. No one's down there. They droned it out. They recognized that opportunity and took advantage of it.
So, playing Ducks now, going with the familiar basement, with, again, a heavy up of their presence. Holding this piano room is big for such a hold, and they're using the castle barricades and reinforcements on the backside to do it, but they're also preempting the floor hole here themselves, so that if the garage wall is opened, they can defend down onto it. They can stop a plant by the white van through it. And they're now using LMs and Lackey both inside the toilets to try and hold that floor.
This is definitely a different hold that I personally have not seen before, where they're literally opening up drop hatches, they're holding on, and it looks like Six is going to return the favor of getting an early kill and pick off enemy at the very start.
So, it's Tooney with that shotgun hib banner. He's looking to push in from the back side.
What we're going to see here is
He's going to
basically...
make holes into the... Oh,
Yep.
he's using the castle barricade. All right, so he's just straight up using that to breach his way through.
Does spot the wall opened up, brings the drone in, spots both of them. It's going to be Valkyrie and Echo right inside of the bathroom. Now Lackey's going to drop down into garage. Still has one wall. Here he's going to open up. Now that's going to force LMs basically to just sit on down and head down.
Now, as he starts to pressure on through, LMs is still actually in the toilets. They have lost one defender. They're still trying to hold on tight. Rendier's up the far end in Visa. And the drones are giving him a little bit. But Pengu, once again, as predicted, is just hovering on the windows and keeping that room locked in. Keeping the man in the toilets. Six Quattro comes up to replace exactly where Pengu was. As Tooney pushes on into the toilets, because they now know that they dropped on through to the floor below. There is still, however, one man upstairs. It's Panics, and he picks up the kill onto side, takes the Ash out and makes his position known. A minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. And they just found out that he's here. He's got a lot of rotation holes, he's got a lot of trapdoors to play with, and he is ready to take the fight to them and ready for them to come to him. Are they going to do it? Last time we tried to see a Penta attack, they tried to ignore this man, and it was enemy, and he came around behind them downstairs in Clubhouse, shut out the diffuser, shook out Tooney.
So now they've got a handle on where
down.
he's at, though, because he did get droned. So we saw Blackbeard potentially either moving up the yellow stairs or at least keeping an eye on it. Garage wall has been opened up by Six. Now he's might be ready to push in a few moments here, but there are only 35 seconds left. And so they're going to have to make a push in eventually. And with Gas pushing that off and holding off that push, we might just see a very rushed
Castle just
final
got
few
taken
seconds.
down upstairs. Pengu did trade down for down on him, though. They cannot finish each other off. Rendier will finish Panics off. Can he get the revive on Pengu in time? LM's has got his drone watching the staircase, but he also has a shotgun to watch Tooney, but he gets drop-shotted. Tooney getting that kill, getting inside, but then being finished off himself by Meepy from the white car. It's a trade, though, that I think Penta will be happy with. 2v3 now. Pengu already down low on health. Lackey will finish him off with his C4. They've got to get a plant going. Rendier is fighting Lackey from a distance. They have the plant going somewhere. Meepy's going to try and go and hunt for it. It's by the black car.
There
He
it
can't
is.
find
He gets
Six Quattro.
it. Oh.
There it is. It must have been milliseconds away. Meepy shuts down Six Quattro mid-plant and holds the round for Penta.
It was good location on the plant because you saw, I mean, it was forcing Smoke to basically go hunting for it. He didn't know exactly where it was, but I mean, like you said, milliseconds away before that plant would have gone down.
If he had stood up from that, Meepy would have come straight around behind him and probably could have just gone straight for the defuse anyway, to be completely fair. Rendier was held off so far deep inside the corridor from security and just held back by Lackey's Valkyrie that he wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. He wouldn't have been able to help stop that diffuser getting destroyed. So the pains of that roaming castle, yes, okay, he died, and yes, okay, he was upstairs and quite a distance away, but he was doing his job, and P-Dux couldn't put enough pressure in towards the sites, couldn't push their execute until the last couple of seconds, and as a result, lose the round.
Yeah, we're going to see Penta going back to the first floor bomb site. Whether or not they're going to hold the top floor again, I think they will. I think that's going to be their new way of holding this bomb site. But
I want to see how they do it without losing Six Quattro to a spawn peak.
Agreed.
Because that's going to be a big telling factor here. It's part of the big reasons as to why they lost the first round, right? Is they were doing the whole round basically 4v5. Now, I'm going to follow Six Quattro because chances are he'll make a similar peak. Question is, will he survive this one?
looks like he's going over to the piano room, going out towards the police entrance, which is where Panics is going to start. Gets the shot down onto him. Panics is just going to rush out of that spawn and ultimately fall to the bullets.
Panics, you know better than that. Against anyone, you don't sprint out of a police line spawn on consonant. especially when you've already droned them to be in the lobby. You know you're against 6 Quattro of all people. There's just no reason to die to that. That's very, very shoddy play from that Capitao. So he'll look and keep an eye on another one, but he's got to be happy about it themselves this time over. And
I like
of
this
all
drone
operators too,
placement there.
Capitao's a big one to lose.
I like that drone placement here from Pengu. Basically, he's able to spot the entry points or some of the entry points into admin, as well as see the Visa stairs. So he's most likely going to see Thermite pushing in. And there it is.
So Thermite does on head in. Meepy's already in there. Drone goes through and lands at Pengu's feet. He peeks on out because he looks towards the other side where Meepy was. He does pick up onto his drone. He's going to have seen LM straight here. Not going to drunk him. Just ready for it. Peeks around the corner, pre-fires and hip fires, but doesn't land the damage you need to and actually loses out that fight. I think they've got a lot less health on Pengu here. 6 Quattro will steep up though and help out by killing our enemy. Pengu now edging forward again. He's looking towards these two. Heads around the corner. Does realize they're both looking the wrong way. Gets one but can't get the second and actually doesn't even finish him. It's just a down. Meepy finishes off Pengu and can then eventually check it's all safe before reviving LMs. He hasn't got a lot of health left, but he is alive, and that's a key factor.
He's looking for that Yokai drone, but Echo's already been taken out. So there he goes, finally sees it, and is bound to make sure that it's clear before he picks up his teammate.
Yeah, picks him up. And they also now have Lackey here to help out and cover while they do so. It is 3v3 then as they're back on the feet, but the health is heavily in Penta's favor, and with 1:10 on the clock, so really is the time. Playing Ducks currently up 2-0, but they might be dropping their first round here. 6 Quattro is downstairs still, hiding in the toilets, but Rendier and Sai are upstairs with a very solid line across the side of this map. One in the connector and one in the toilets, and this end of the map is well and truly in their control. LMs knows where Sai is, roughly. He saw him on the drone. He did kill it, but they know he's in that area. They don't know where Rendier is. So if they put two... Oh, now they do.
Position by shooting there, and Meepy was originally just looking right towards connector.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Rendier did not have to pre-fire that. Doing that now just destroyed the secret that they had, basically the jump that they would have gotten on them.
They dropped through the floor. Lackey picks off 6 Quattro. They're downstairs now. Sai is upstairs alone. Rendier has dropped down. He's in towards Piano, but the smoke grenades are completely cutting him off from the A site. He's going to try and get the plant down. They have 15 seconds. Sai is trying to keep him busy as much as he can. He doesn't want to fall through the trapdoor, but he does see them. He takes down Lackey.
Both down.
He can get the second one. Rendier comes forward. Now it's LMs from behind, and Sai trades down for death. LMs will fall. It was looking hectic for a moment, but Penta hold on.
Very nice job by Penta, finishing off on that 3 versus 2.
Looking down through the trapdoor, calls are over by the door. Rendier was confident, pushed towards and up towards the smoke, using their cover both ways. Yes, it meant he couldn't see in from Piano, but it also meant they couldn't see him pushing forward. So the moment it runs low, he can step out, and with the fire from above and the fire from him, Lackey cannot handle with both. And LMs was just a little bit late on his timing that he also couldn't assist in any way or shape or form.
Well, I think the restructuring of that attacker's push and getting downstairs, going through the drop hatch was wise and a good thing to do. I think they should have left one person upstairs still. Because, I mean, that drop hatch is key to holding the lobby. So when you give that up and you're down to the final few seconds, you have to assume that the remaining defenders in the top floor are going to utilize those drop hatches unless you're able to keep pressure on it.
When it comes down to the fact that, okay, we know there's 2 people upstairs. That means there's only 1 person downstairs. We are 3. We drop. We kill it. We find him with 1 person because I don't know where he is. That he kills that 1 person. We trade it, and then there's 2 of us left. Like, you don't expect to drop with no knowledge and all 3 survive.
Yeah.
So I think it's more that they expected to go down. They expected to trade 1 for 1 and then be 2v2 what's left. So I can forgive them a little bit for leaving for bringing everyone down. What I can't really forgive is the timing on that. LMs was not at that back doorway. He was not ready to help when they started to plant. And planting over by the door, yes, it helps you after plant when you can get outside and whatnot. But when you know the players are upstairs and they're by the trapdoors, and the only way down are through Piano or through the trapdoor right above your head, planting there is a bad place to go. Go over to the where they planted the round before, right? Where we got the knife kill. Go to that side of the desk and plant. And that way you can be seen from the trapdoor. You can't be seen from Piano hallway, from the connector area. You're going to get it down.
What I'm not quite sure about here, and hopefully we'll see it unfold, is the opportunity that the attackers chose here. Penta choosing Hibana and Thermite together on a top floor. Now, I can understand one or the other, but for the most part, there's not many walls that you actually open up from a reinforcement standpoint, or that you have time to on a top floor bomb site.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about it earlier on the last map. Penta like to run both regardless of the maps. They just like the gunplay that you get with Hibana so much that they don't need her necessarily for a breach. They just like using her as an Ashe, basically, because that's what's missing on this lineup. But when she goes in that early without droning the room properly and dies that fast, it is not a good sign for their successful attack.
Now,
So now
Six's drone does spot out enemy. Enemy's now going to be shot up by Pengu.
survives
No
it, though.
death's going to happen just yet.
No, Pengu blocked a lot of those shots with his shield as well, and well, enemy's now got to pull this door down to get himself out. Valkyrie camera spotted now by Pengu. He will take it on out, but he has not actually replaced that shield yet either, so he's happy and safe with it.
I do admire how PDux has held this admin floor. They've barricaded off and castle walled off basically every entrance because they know the push is going to come. And I appreciate that kind of hold.
Meanwhile, they leave the Valkyrie downstairs. Enemy is still up and close to admin, but using these different holes that they've made, using the castle barricades they've put in place to catch some surprising peaks and different angles that Penta aren't ready for. They're locking them in that end of the map. They're locking them up to that side. You have nowhere near the bombs with this. We're okay with that. Your Blackbeard's not near B. We can leave LMs to run free around this end. We can just keep you there. Six Squatra taking shots down onto the feet as he's trying to breach open the castle door, and Panics will take that kill for free.
Located a bomb.
It's not a kind of play you can make. This is why you need characters like Ashe. This is why you need these range breaches. And while this time they have managed to down the bandit, Panics gets into Pengu, who drops into the A balcony, completely open and exposed. The mobility that PDux have over this end of the map, because of how much Penta has pushed onto admin, is huge. He does step into that pre-fire and throws his life away to Rendier, but when it's 2v4, despite that death, he's going to be okay with it. Playing Ducks are going to be consistently and happy, content and happy that they're going into a 3-1 lead here.
Now, Rendier's going to have to push in through the smoke and barbed wire. That's going to hurt him some. And actually, Smoke turns his back. Rendier's going to pick up the kill. Alems is going to pick up Sai, though. And the round's going to go to the defenders due to the lack of time.
There was no time in the world he had to make that happen. Yes, through the smoke. Yes, Smoke turned his back. But in turning his back, Smoke picked up the kill on the man in connector. So he made it a 3v1 at that point. In which case, that last man has to hold a plant for 7 seconds. It was never going to work. That was 3-1 from the moment that Pengu dropped into that A balcony and died. Penta stood no chance. They put so much of their time and their resources into getting control of admin and couldn't. The round was gone.
I think one of the things that went in favor of playing Ducks in that round was the way that they set up that top floor. I mean, one of the things that you can definitely turn in favor of yourself when you're on the defense side is changing the flow of the map, and that's exactly what they did with reinforcing the walls, setting up castle barricades, and opening up different avenues to add into corner office. And all these different angles, all these different pathways that you can take are something that we haven't really seen before, especially that admin hold leading into the main corridor.
Yeah. Time now for Penta to go and hold this top floor again themselves. Rendier putting his cameras in some special little spots. That one specifically, I believe, hides it from the outside balcony using that light fixture in the roof, but still gives it a good sight line to the majority of the room. Then he'll head on down, Sai, castle barricading off the Visa end from the map this time over. It just slows down the movement of the attackers and forces them to think differently about their ways in, and as there you see castle barricaded the backside of toilets as well, meaning that these rotate holes aren't so exposed to the outside world.
And so, I mean, again, we're seeing Castle played very, very sophisticatedly here in both sides of the teams here. And what it's basically showing is that they understand the usefulness of Castle. It's not just to close off a door or close off a window or close off a room. It's to force the attackers to change their direction, change their attack, or if they don't, they're going to give themselves away by going in and opening up one of the castle barricades.
So the bomb sites are once again on the top floor, but Penta love to play their spread out defense. They've got Pengu on the yellow stairs, down away, Tuni on the spiral stairs coming up away. Six Squatra actually staying pretty defensive this time around on the cameras to begin with, just feeding info where he can to his team.
And it looks like we might be seeing a push into Visa. We saw Capital repelled off of the north windows, and looks as though we saw Thermite trying to push in from Visa. But nonetheless, right now we are going to see, again, looks like LMs is going to be droning out for his teammates. And there's still over half the round to go. Not much engagement has happened just yet, but when bomb site's top floor, there's not too much you have to do to get up there.
Yeah, and the defense from PENTA is not heavily focused towards stopping them getting inside the building here either. Playing Ducks, while they have an enemy on the skylight, Tooney was just sitting so open and exposed and not ready for that peek, where enemy's already coming around the corner with his gun raised and his sights ready. Tooney's going to lose that fight every time over, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Tooney was thinking, to be completely honest there.
Yeah, we just saw Panic's repel in right where enemy is now inside a printer, and they're looking to take over a push into the projector room or into the middle bomb site. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see here eventually in just a few moments. Lackey's going to be downstairs inside of the front alley.
Yeah, he already picked off Pengu, and he saved enemy's life in doing so. Enemy at 1 HP because of it. Looking down towards the far side, Six Quattro does peek out, just hidden behind his ACOG actually, finishes enemy off, but it is a small consolation prize because playing Ducks are in the site of A with the plant down. Six Quattro picks off Meatbee, who steps a little bit too far out from the corner where he could have stayed hidden, and Six Quattro gets panicked. So he's grabbed all 3 of the kills for his team now, but will taken out from behind by Lackey. Rendier will trade Lackey straight back and is now all onto Thermite in a 1v1. With Rendier's Valkyrie. Rendier is in the A site and by the diffuser. He's now pushing aggressively, gives his position away by spraying down Visa. Pushes along behind, the plant is on the wall. Oh, LMs heard him coming.
To run there in time?
Yeah, he's got it easily done. LMs was planting on the wall to make a hold, to make a distraction, but he heard him coming, pulls off, but just couldn't quite land the headshot.
No, oh, right there it was. Defenders had it.
Time. So yeah, the diffuse goes through, and Rendier keeps PENTA alive. 3 rounds to 2 now. But these are getting closer and closer with every round that passes. Both of these teams seem to be getting surprised by the way the other is holding. No one seems to be too prepared. No one seems to know ahead of time what it is they need to do. And they are very much learning on the fly of how to deal with each of these strats. And that, as a result, is pushing them down to the last final seconds, the last final moments to get on through. So the thing's going to be here is who has learned the most from round to round and who is going to adapt their preset plans to these new strats, to these new defenses they weren't ready for, in the best way.
And I think that comes down to which team has the better in-game leader, per se, the in-game analyzer, because that's one of the big things that determines the outcome of a round, is not necessarily how you plan to attack, but how you manage to adapt to the attack or adapt to the defense of which you're going against. And ultimately that ends up to being the responsibility of the in-game leader. And so I think both of these teams have very strong in-game leaders. Sometimes, though, that leader gets distracted, doesn't get all the information that he or she requires, and it ultimately leads to the downfall of that team.
Yeah, so we'll see. As it is, back into the basement is the next defense round for playing Ducks, and once more they are setting up the defenses of the floors above in heavy fashion, using these castle barricades and using the straight reinforcements along the back of the toilets and along the back of the just straight corridor to the spiral stairs and whatnot, just giving them control of this piano room and just holding them in here comfortably. So is then creating these rotate holds. They've also not reinforced that trapdoor, so he has that for a rotate back down towards the site itself.
This bathroom hold, I don't know if it's necessarily what I would expect from a bathroom type hold. I mean, they do have the escape route downstairs, but what is the necessity to stay up here, I guess? Other than trying to prevent Hibana from opening up that drop hatch, but you're already pre-opening it up and just trying to hold on to the site.
I think it's more that the whole map is so, or the garage rather, is so overplayed and thought out and planned out by everyone that everyone knows how to hold it and everyone knows how to attack it successfully. So if you hold upstairs and they rush the site, you become the attackers and you can push that site and then you can win. Nice and easy. But if they spend some time trying to shake you from those upstairs, you can still fall back towards the site, and then they have to reset and they have to attack a fresh one again, and they have no time to do it. So it forces them to make a choice in which, poorly chosen, gives their defense back the advantage, rather than just sitting in a site and sitting static, where they're going to get pincered in, cut off, and just shut down by the attackers or whatever. It's this new aggressive meta that defenses are forced to take, because sitting still and sitting pinned into one small area is never going to work anymore.
Now, I believe enemy got past Tooney's drone undetected because we just saw Tooney hop on in to the back hallway and head on over towards yellow. But he is sitting inside of the hallway by bathroom looking for the flank. But
He's looking up the yellow stairs, so if the Jaeger comes around behind, he won't quite be ready for it. Now he's cautious of the area as the drones are checking the other way for him. Penta do also have that Blackbeard on the floor slightly above as he just looks away just as the Jaeger skips across the gap. Tooney does get downed.
I believe that was actually the Castle that went and got the
Castle, yeah, and he's got 6 Quattro down too. Picked off the 2 of them. Sai does pick Panics off and take him out, but enemy is still up here. 6 Quattro is down off towards the far end. Sai's going to pick him up and keep them in a 2v2. But inside this toilet now, with 45 seconds to go, they have to find 4 full health defenders. Too many flanks to be watched by poor
Now, enemy's sitting in a nice spot. Right now he's inside of the lobby with a castle wall to his left. All he has to do is just watch the circle stairs and say for the rest, watch the drop hatch or yellow stairs, because that's where they're coming down from.
Sai spotted him there, but couldn't quite land the kill in time. He was mid-reload, and now enemy knows he's just got to sit here and watch the top of the staircase. 6 Quattro has got downstairs, but he didn't have the diffuser, and he was just getting swarmed. Lackey can easily pick him off because he's got so many angles to push him from. The diffuser is still down. Sai is tucked in the toilet and pinned without the diffuser in his hand. This is another round for playing Ducks, and it gives them the 4-2 lead and the match point.
As we said last time, it was 4-2. Penta was leading. It's not over yet for Penta either. So
No.
I think, well, I think it is going to be tougher for Penta to fight back than playing Ducks to fight back last game. I think it's still doable, but I would like to see Penta change it up because I don't think they've successfully held this lobby and press room. This is their 3rd or 4th attempt at holding this bomb site, and it hasn't gone well for them at all.
So, our off-stream game, our other stream game, Euronics. Euronics just beat G-Bots 5-0 on Consulate. So after losing 5-0 on Oregon, they won 5-0 on Consulate and obviously won the second map 6-4. So they are now our winners. Euronics will be playing the winner of this game. Now, if this is the round, it could be playing Ducks versus Euronics right next after this very round. However, if Penta go back and fight it out, we could be still looking at a 3rd map here. We'll wait and see. Penta are sticking to their lobby defense once more. It's just not quite there for them. They did hold it once when they ran the clock right down and they had 2 players stuck in the
That's
lobby,
right, yep.
and they left them upstairs, and it was there and it was sloppy and it was a bit messy for the attacking playing Duck lineup. I don't see it being quite that bad again because they've done it once now, and as you say, down to their in-game leader, their in-game strat caller should have learned from that. They all should have learned from that. They should be more aware of how and what to push with it and won't waste as much time on, say, the 2 upstairs, or they'll know where and what to plant it a bit better this time so they can defend it more. Or it's going to be a bit tougher unless Penta have some small changes of their own to make to throw them off a bit further.
I'm curious on some of the different operator choices that we could have seen here. One of the things that I was thinking we might see would be sometimes possibly a mountain if you're trying to hold a doorway, especially knowing that Penta. If playing Ducks knew that Penta was going to be choosing this first floor every single time or every opportunity they got.
He's about to walk in 6 crosshair.
Just missed.
6 crosshairs were just a millimeter too high. And LMs gets away with it this time around. He was alone, so there's not going to be an issue anymore. But his rounds are just...
It's odd that he would spawn there and then run all the way across the map towards Visa and admin.
Yeah. But he does, and he made it.
Now, last time I believe it was P-Ducks jumped on in here. I think it was Habana. Habana or Ash jumped on into admin, got sideswiped by the Jaeger inside of the corner of admin through the bottom of the cubicle.
That was Penta.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, that was when they were running the Hibana with the no Ash and the Thermite all the same. And then she repels in, Tooney goes in, and yeah, enemy was lying prone on the right-hand side and shut him down completely for free. And then has to deal with Pengo on the window and whatnot, and they pulled it off. But they are sending Lackey in slowly through the Visa staircase and up from underneath instead. So... interesting difference as they already lose 1 to 6 Quattro. So after avoiding the spawn peak, After surviving that, LM's just run straight back into Six Squatcher's crosshairs right at the front door, and they do lose their thermite after all. Not the biggest loss though, because this attack doesn't necessarily require it, but it will require Lackey. He's lucky to pick off the kill onto Pengu. Doesn't take too much serious damage, so they do go back to a 4v4. And now these upper trapdoors, he can start to blow them, because they still have that Hibana.
So what we're going to see, Tooney picking up the kill into enemy, Lackey pushing into connector. He'll spot the castle atop of yellow, but will he get the kill? He knows he's there now. He's going to rotate out.
Impact nade just for a little bit of flash and bang to give Sai a safety cross. Rendier still upstairs and in the toilet. Now he was in here before, they knew he was in here before. Are they going to be ready to watch it? They haven't droned him yet. They aren't pushing this far in. Six Scratcher checking the camera in the lobby while hiding in the toilet, ready for them. Tooney at the back stairs and the spiral, ready to peek up if they drop again. And it does look like that's what Peeing Ducks are about to try and do. 25 seconds, and they're up and above that trapdoor. Here comes Lackey, down he goes. Looks towards the toilet, looks a bit low though. Six Scratcher is standing up and gets the kill onto Lackey before he can even really move. Thatcher still alive, but very, very low health. Also now planting inside the site. Finished off by Six Squatcher with ease. Or Tooney, in fact, came up spiral to finish him. Up and above the drop will be Capital. Drops down to finish off Tooney. Cave is alive a bit longer, but only until he walks into the toilets. Six Squatcher gets him. There were also two other members of PENTA still alive, and they keep themselves alive for one more round. It is 4 rounds to 3, though, and with one more defense round, Playing Ducks could still end it.
And what we saw there actually was Playing Ducks hold. Typically, what I was trying to say earlier is when you're going to be dropping, keep one person left up, and I believe they tried that. But after all, when you're the last man alive, you have to drop and go for the kills, go for the plant.
Yeah, to give it a shot.
So it's still match point for Playing Ducks. They win this round, they win this series, and they'll be moving on to play. You said Euronics.
Yep, playing Euronics in the upper bracket final, just a moment time away. PENTA still trying to think about where they bring and who they bring for their last operators. Sai going to go over to that Buck again. He's very much that utility player for the squad. Not always picking up the kills, but he's the castle, he's the Buck. He's going to be the destructor here in attack. He was the castle and defense, setting up a lot of these things, the impact nades as well. And they do then put Tooney onto Ash for a slightly more aggressive start. Playing Ducks defending this top floor again, and last time they held the admin side very, very well. And PENTA just ran out of time trying to take that, didn't decide in time when to switch across towards the A site, and didn't have enough men left when to do it. Didn't help that they had a player jump off the roof and land low. But yeah, you know, they did their best.
Yeah, because that was a 4-2, and they ended up losing that because of it.
Yeah. So, enemy once again inside the end room, inside the admin room itself. Does have some reinforcements to help him rotate. Does have some holes blown open, and of course that trapdoor. Castle barricades up on the last couple of windows, just in time there for panics as well. An enemy now has a way out through that wall as well. They sent Blackbeard up onto window, and as you mentioned, they sent Tooney on what at the time was Hibana straight up and in to suicide before, but now he's running the Ash instead, and not quite as aggressively heading up there.
Yeah, so Tooney's going to throw the drone up into admin. Not sure if he's going to spot enemy before he's going to get Pengu here. There he goes, finally does call him out, spots him, forcing enemy to just back off the window a little bit. But we do still have Blackbeard on the single window of admin, and I believe Tooney's going to be pushing up to go double windows of admin here to try and get that crossfire onto enemy.
Yeah, but it was Tooney's drone now, so Tooney doesn't have another one. Blackbeard is too busy also trying to just, you know, watch through the windows and do his job, so he can't drone him yet. And he does see the string rappel on up. He sees and knows that there's an operator going to be attached to it. It is Pengu, and the drone is going to come in. Dropping down through the hatch he goes. The window is open to his left. There is a player out it, but he's not really paying aware to this. Rendier is right out there. Enemy now having a look towards that instead. The players upstairs are still cautious of the floor. He kills off that drone, so Rendier would have heard him. He knows he's in here and is also staying very cautious because of it. Enemy pre-fires a corner and then gets out to safety, and his job has been done. 1:30, and he has wasted a lot of that time. Panics now has to fall back out of the copier room himself. The admin room still has players on the windows, but not inside. I think, actually, I lied. Tooney might just about be in there. Yeah.
Yep, there he is. So he's inside, and I mean, right now they have to make a decision on how we're going to get through these castle barricades, or are we going to have to go through the way that they're forcing us into the printer.
He already has no breach charges left. He used those on barbed wire. Pengu hasn't come to join him. He's now going up towards the A site, and with a minute to go, Needs to be able to do some damage from here. Last time he got up on here, he just died very quickly.
There's very little utilities left for the attackers. They're lacking frags, they're lacking breach charges. We'd still have 2 of the tactical crossbow here, 2 incendiary arrows, but that's almost all that we have left for the attackers.
Rendy has been spotted and he can't figure out where the camera is, so now he's just going to have to suck it up and go on down. Pengu still here on the balcony as Tooney does pick up a kill onto Panic, so they do finally get a frag, and it is in the advantage of the attackers and then PENTA. Tooney now pushes forward through Copier Room and looks for that flank coverage, so no one can come through there and stab him in the back now. And the A plant is on. Pengu sprays through behind the bomb, make sure there's no one in any of these spots. Rendy are out there, but LMs will take down Sai and evil out the numbers a little bit. Sai's grenade, Sai's shotgun out of the picture. Rendy now gonna try and fire the bomb. Try to fire either side, make sure no one peeks out. That might hurt him,
He's going to burn himself.
No, he's not. He's just about far enough around it. Gets into the corner. Lackey takes out 6 Quattro, but Pengu will take down LMs. Lackey then finishes Tooney off with some C4. It is just Pendu and Rendy left. The plant goes down. Pengu gets a pistol kill before enemy finishes him off. Now Rendy is the last man standing against 2, but one of them is down. It's not going to matter as they do push straight into his crosshairs. Enemy will fall, and overtime is called. Weird sense of deja vu.
So as we said it before, PENTA had to fight their way back from a 4-2 deficit, and they managed to do so. So we're in overtime right now, and it's going to be looking like Playing Ducks will start on defense.
Down to the last few nail-biting seconds. Pengu on that window doing an amazing amount of work, picking up 3 or 4 of the attackers, defenders that were trying to come in and stop the plant, downing the last one just before he falls, pretty sure with his Desert Eagle. And then leaving just the 1 man for Rendia to find that Jaeger.
That incendiary looked like he was going to burn
It
himself.
looked so close, yeah.
I was like, you have to go through barbed wire, you're stuck inside of your own flame. But, I mean, his health bar still stayed at 100.
Yep, it was just on the edges, made it through. I would have preferred, considering they knew there was no one behind that desk, and just see it fire at each of the doorways, maybe. Just fire those instead of directly at the desk in front of you. But hey, it worked. It got him in, he got the plant down, they got the round.
Don't question the working method.
Ain't stupid if it works. But hey, it's time now for Playing Ducks to defend down in the basement again. They tried this a few times before, and they go for the heavy upstairs hold, and it worked out for them very well last time they tried it, thanks to Panic's beautifully timed flank enemy using the castle barricade to their advantage, being here in the main lobby, firing through this little corridor underneath the barricade, taking out some down players, helping take out the thermite as well. And this little corridor here through the doorway and through the back wall of the toilets was just highly contested and played out by both squads.
I did not think that that teams would be utilizing Castle to be so elaborate right now. But as you said, he's been chosen both sides every single round. And I mean, we're seeing some very good and sophisticated strats coming from him.
So, as the holes start to be made out again already, the last few seconds of the spawning is underway. Upstairs, right at the back side of the room, Panics has a hole down through into Visa to look through and catch anyone coming in unaware through the front door. But the attack from PENTA is slow and calculated. Sai heads into the back skyline.
So he won't spot anyone in there just yet and decides to throw a drone instead. And then he'll call it out, make it all clear for his team, or else push in and take out the roamers. But as we see, it's only Panics playing Castle here in the top floor. Looks like he would be right above the main lobby. Now, I don't necessarily think that's the best option or the best position for a roamer, a single roamer top floor, because you can be surrounded on 3 different sides of you if the attackers decide to make a hard push for you.
Yeah, see how he makes it work. Meanwhile, downstairs, actually in the site, is Lackey. He's did this the last couple of times. He is the sole defender of the floor below. And well, up and above in the spiral staircase, enemy is there, and now the teams are falling down. LMs has a shotgun, and of course the Bearing 9, and his drone watching the front door. PENTA going for a more traditional garage breach before taking upstairs, and they then have Meepy behind the white van to contend with. So Sai thinks about upstairs and has changed his mind, has now come down, he's outside, so leaving the castle up there alone. He also has Tooney leaping in at the back here. This is that angle where it was so hotly contested before, because he can make these holes in the wall and help shoot down through this trapdoor. But when he's not paying proper attention, it lets enemies sneak up these spiral stairs where he sat the whole time and take Tooney down. But he did get the breach off just before he fell, so that wall will have the angle open if someone else wants to go there. Also want to note that Sai is running the G36.
That is very true, and he's got breach charges as well instead of smokes, which might just be for the castle walls. Not too much of an issue, we'll say. But we do still have, I believe that is Jaeger on top of those circle stairs. Panics is still at the very top, inside of that middle bomb or the middle floor, looking through the drop hatch at the bottom of the circle stairs. Now, he is the only one at the moment up here from the defensive side. And Rendier wants to go after him. He's just not exactly sure where he is, but then turns around, spots him inside of the little cubby. And Panics right now is just cornered.
Pengu, meanwhile, has been down by the garage. Panics knows he's cornered a little way. He's going to make a rotate hole out. Thinks Rendier is aware of it, but the pre-fire is enough. Rendier takes Panics down, but with 20 seconds on the clock, he has to get through and help his team. Pengu has been revived downstairs, but Six Quattro has the diffuser. They're trying to get in through all the smoke. The smoke grenades are coming out from Meepy. Lackey gets Pengu out. There's the smoke grenades downing Six Quattro, and the diffuser is down inside the site. The Rendier drops through the trapdoor and takes down Meepy. Looks for the next one. It is Sai inside the room. He's shooting at his teammate, but Alem's and enemy are there, not as confused as Penta seem to be, and can clean up the two attackers to give P-Dux the first round in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, the Hibana right there landed some shots through the wall there on Echo, but also hit his own teammate Ash coming in through Kitchen. So just a little bit of confusion, a little bit of hectic chaos going on.
Even Meepy doesn't understand. It was his C4, it injured Six Quattro, and then the smoke finished him off when he was down with the plant. Yeah, but so much going on, so much confusion in there, Meepy wasn't even sure where Lackey's C4 ended up and what it did, as it is. Lackey's C4 did down and finish off the Six Quattro with the help of smoke. So stopping that plant, meaning those last couple of seconds were very, very hectic. And gives Playing Ducks a little bit of breathing room again now. On to match point. And as I said, series point. If they win this, they play against Euronics. But they still have to win this. Penta have shown they are not down and out, and they are ready to put up a fight.
So Penta cannot make any crucial mistakes in the next 2 rounds, or else they will be headed down to the losers bracket. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they are out of the running for that invitation to Montreal, but it just means they're going to have to fight a lot harder.
Yeah, if they do lose this, they'll go up and they'll play G-Bots in the first loser bracket round. Then the winner of that will go and play the loser of the Euronics versus Playing Ducks game. And then the winner of that will play against the winner of the Euronics versus Playing Ducks game, if that's what it is, in the final. Round and about, but it's there. Meanwhile then, this is the defense from Penta again of the main lobby. Now this is working for them now. They have got it down to a science. Playing Ducks don't seem to be able to figure it out. But they have brought slightly different operators through. Elems is once again bringing that thermite. Now, will he survive the support this time, or is he going to get caught out by Six Quattro again? Let's find out as he is standing there watching a similar angle from these same windows.
And I mean, Six has been one to always peak at the very beginning. Whether or not it's in his favor, whether or not he gets the kill or not, or whether he died previously in a round, he doesn't give up the easy spawns. He doesn't allow teams to just take it for granted. He'll punish you for it, and that's exactly what he did earlier to LMs.
He gets droned, so now he's proning his way to the next window to see if he can get up here and surprise one. LMs is running across that angle. If he stands up and looks out here, he might just catch him in time. No, he has just got through the gap. LMs makes it to safety. Six Quattro's prone crawling was a little bit too slow. Tooney, meanwhile, has already taken a hefty bit of damage inside these spiral stairs. No doubt he was somewhere else and has now ran to here to survive longer. But it does mean he's already on the defensive back foot early in the round. Enemy outside Visa window is now droning in there to make sure it's clear before he leaps on in. And he will shortly find out that it is, but has an eye on the stairwell.
And so with that, enemies pushing into Visa and clearing out. Now, I expect him to use right here. The breach charge opens up the wall into circle stairs. However, we still do have Jaeger on those circle stairs, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to wait, get on cam, and spot that push in. But at the same time, we also have Ash, who's on camera, on drone, going to drone out those circle stairs and possibly force Jaeger to head down further.
Meepy upstairs is very tentatively punching his way through this barricade because they know that Pengu is up here. Not anymore, as the Lems repelling in that window catches him out. The Lems getting that kill, taking out the smoke, taking out Pengu on the top floor. Rendier is now here. He also still has Sai here, though. The drone does come in and actually sees Rendier that time, so they now definitely know he's in the toilet. It didn't see Sai over on the B windows, though. Look, there's one bullet hole in each window, helping with the sound, help him give more information. As Tooney is picked off downstairs, so that spiral staircase man is gone. Playing Ducks now 5v3 are going to be very happy about this. Let's see if they can get the plant down this time, though, or if these three remaining players are going to be the thorn that they need. C4 comes up, out, up against the wall, does blow it open, takes Lackey a little bit low, but not serious. 50 health still on him. What it does give them, though, is a nice big hole into what that A site could be. For Rendia to now pressure Alems and Lackey out through the trapdoor. The plant is down inside A. Lackey's right on one side of the wall. Alems does get exposed. Lackey will peek around the corner and misses Rendia for the majority of it. Gets him down to 50 health. Lackey going to keep chasing it. He has that secondary gun. Switches around and runs to vending machines. Rendia goes on over and in and finds Lackey for the second. Still 3v3 though. Up and above. Lackey is unsure. Meepy finishes off 6 Quattro. There goes Sai from Panics, and now it is one man to find 3. He can't find any. Panics takes it down. GG's are called. Playing Ducks will advance to the second round of the upper bracket final against Euronics.
I thought Valkyrie might have had the much needed clutch there. She picked off 2, but after peeking down to the drop hatch, just could not go up against Panics, and Panics peeked on through and got the kill.
There we go. It came down to the last round of overtime, but Playing Ducks figured out how to play against
I love that
strategy of that strategy that Penta have. That lobby hold, or the lobby bomb sites, the upstairs hold as it is. They finally got its number.